You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
On the phone, we've got Brother Jonathan Cruz down south, one of my fellow comrades in Dothan. I don't know what exactly they got. Somewhere down south, around Dothan, Fort Rucker area. How are you doing this morning, Jonathan?
Good. How you guys doing this morning?
Oh, we're living the dream.
Living the dream, as always. Glad you called in. What do you got going on down there at Fort Rucker this morning?
A lot of same old. Like I said, I appreciate y'all taking my call and want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving Day weekend.
Yes.
And I'm sure, like most unionists in the area, I've been reading all the national news about the Amazon workers in the Bessemer area and their attempts to organize with the retail workers, union retail, wholesale, and department store workers.
Yep.
So that's probably the biggest organizing drive that we got going in Alabama right now, and it's
I think it's
obviously
probably
gained national news because it is Amazon.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest organizing drive in America right now. We've been in touch with the organizer down there, and we're going to do some reporting live on the day of the election, but you would not believe how many people are following that drive right now. And I think how, like you said, how important it is, not just in the state, but nationwide. I think it's wonderful. Now, for us to be able to possibly organize the first Amazon workers in the nation would be a good feather in Alabama labor's hat.
I would absolutely love it. And like David said, we've been in contact with the organizers. They're working. I got an email from the president of that local at like 3 a.m. He replied to me, and he was like, "You can tell we're working late." So they're working hard. Currently, we've had a lot of people from across the nation ask how we can help, and they have not solicited any help from outside right now. They're wanting to kind of keep it local. Kind of avoid some to a certain extent the spotlight's inevitable, but I think they want to be able to kind of get up close and personal.
Yeah.
But
they want to control the narrative.
They want to control the narrative, and certainly I have let him know multiple times anything at all that we can do from the Valley Labor Report, from the Labor Council up here, unions statewide. Where all they got to do is snap their fingers, and we'll come there with bell sign.
No doubt, yeah. That was kind of my main reason for calling in today. I know I could reach a lot of trade unionists by talking about this on the air, and just to encourage everybody. If you're praying kind of folks, pray for them.
Yes.
If you're not, wish them well wishes, or try to help out however you can. And I know right now with the virus and everything, it's hard to actually put boots on the ground, but just emotional support, whatever they need, because this is huge for workers in the state of Alabama.
It would. The bargaining unit would be 1,500 employees. This is the first drive at an Amazon facility since 2014, since the machinists messed it up.
Watch it, but we have been known for messing up a few in the past. I botched one a few years ago, so you do what you can do.
Yeah, it's Amazon. You're going up against literally one of the most powerful corporations in the world. And I saw that Amazon has just retained a former Republican member of the National Labor Relations Board for their union busting nonsense that they're going to try to pull. And so these workers down there, they are going to be, Amazon is going to throw the kitchen sink at them. And there are folks that will, I told somebody about this, and they were like, well, why do they need a union? And why wouldn't
you?
Have you read literally anything about what happens at Amazon facilities? These places have 3 times higher than the national average injury rates than similar warehouses. They have to pee in water bottles because their breaks are so sparse. They recently cut the hazard pay program, and since then, Amazon has made $6.3 billion in profits. They have this Big Brother type anti-union surveillance. This is like a dystopia. It's like they live in a dictatorial regime. These folks need a union, and Amazon is going to be doing everything that they can to fight them on it. And so, like you said, Brother Jonathan, if you're praying, folks, pray for these workers. They're certainly going to be in my thoughts.
Yeah.
Right. If anybody needs a union, it's these folks here in Bessemer at the Amazon warehouse. It's well past time. This needed to come 5 years ago, but I'm just glad that it's happening now, and I hope it goes through.
Yeah. And here's the thing, and you deal with a lot of the same thing that I do up here on a daily basis, where you have a lot of, across the entire state, we've got a lot of right-leaning, libertarian-minded types in the state, and they're constantly, we hear it on this radio so consistently bashing unions, but it's like you have to make a choice at some point. These folks at Amazon warehouses, these folks at Walmart, their Dollar General, the Dollar Trees, they are getting paid so low. They have no health care. They're a drain on, and I'm not saying anything bad. This is not meant to be negative towards those workers, because everybody has to work somewhere. But they are a drain on SNAP programs. They're a drain on Medicare programs. The government subsidies are basically subsidizing these companies. Now, they look at it and say, all of these lazy workers, and they're all working 40 hours a week. Don't tell me they're lazy. Anybody that's worked in that type of environment, you'd be insane to call them lazy. But the fact is, without unions, either they're going to get their benefits through the government, or we're going to raise the wages for them to where they get off of those benefits. So, not the far right, but even the moderate right-leaning Republicans and Libertarians need to come to an understanding that either we're going to do it through forcing these workers to pay fair wages and benefits, or you're going to continue subsidizing them, and which is more efficient. For certain, we know the government's not efficient when it comes to anything, but certainly on these subsidies and things like that. So, when you start making these claims that, why do they need a union? Why do they want better wages? Hey, it's your money. It's our taxpayer dollars. You want to keep paying them? Because at the end of the day, Jeff Bezos is getting rich by paying his workers slave wages, and we are subsidizing his profits. And I just read last week that Walmart, I can't remember the percentage, was like 80% of the people at Walmart worked a full-time job, yet most of them are on SNAP benefits, and Walmart has actually captured 18% of those SNAP. They control 18% of those benefits getting spent at Walmart. So not only are we subsidizing their low-wage workers, they're reaping the rewards of those low-wage workers coming back to work for them and capturing those benefits.
And another thing, you mentioned that folks are like, oh, well, they don't need a union, whatever. Why do they? But another thing that I've heard is that, well, if they want a better job, why don't they just get a different job? And it's like, what kind of bootlicking nonsense is that? You're supposed to be a conservative, anti-authoritarian, give me liberty or give me death kind of thing, and your advice to somebody that wants better wages and working conditions is to walk out with their tails between their legs, whimpering and simpering to the next guy? Like, screw that. Fight. Stay there and fight.
Yeah. Yeah, what about the next worker who's going to come in behind them to take that job when they leave? They're
Exactly.
Going to be in the exact same scenario.
Just for so many reasons, it's bootlicking, it's whimpering, and it just shows like a fundamental lack of care and empathy for anybody other than themselves.
Yeah, I just want to say one last thing, and then I'll let y'all get on to the next caller. But for any of the Amazon workers who may be listening out there, I just want them to know that there's people out here in their local community who support them in this organizing drive. There's going to be a lot of people who come out against it. Probably the governor will write them letters
absolutely,
to their house saying, please don't do this. It's bad for Alabama.
Yeah.
That's nonsense.
Yeah.
They need to come together, work together, and support each other. And there are people in their local communities and further out in the state of Alabama who support their efforts in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for calling in,
Thanks,
Brother
brother.
Cruz. It's certainly appreciated, and we appreciate you listening
Hey.
as well.
Thank y'all for everything y'all do. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate your time. If you want to see what we're up to throughout the week and get our snide quips about the news of the day, then you should follow us on social media. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Valley Labor Report. We're on Twitter at Labor Reporters. I'm on Twitter at JacobM_AL. David is on Twitter at Radical Unionist. That's spelled RADICL Unionist. If you missed part of the show and want to go back and watch it later, search YouTube for The Valley Labor Report and subscribe to our channel. You can go back and watch the full show there, and we also clip segments throughout the week. And we also upload the program on more than 11 different podcasting apps. So you can see if we're on your listening platform of choice. You can go to thevalleylaborreport.transistor.fm/subscribe. And if you appreciate our work and want to help us stay on the air, then consider throwing us a couple dollars a month on patreon.com/The Valley Labor Report.